Are you betting against this economy? Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So, yes, right here, I'm showing off one of my personal favorites, and very unique because if you notice right off the bat, a lot of people will think, oh no, that's just the lighting. On the contrary, you will not get that nice violet hue, that nice little subtle purple that you get on these Britannias. I've also noticed that the kangaroos do it as well, but nowhere near as nice as these Britannias. Really, really stunning, really attractive. Anytime I'm telling people to get coins, it's always Maple Leafs, American Eagles, and Britannias. You know, Britannias and Maple Leafs especially because the premiums are not as high as the American Eagles. American Eagles, the premiums have gone up and up and up, and they continue to go up and up and up. So yes, a little bit of a history. The British Silver Britannia has been issued by the Royal Mint in every year since its 1997 debut. The Silver Britannia coins issued from 1997 until 2012 had a silver purity known at the Royal Mint as Britannia Silver. This special edition is one of the most celebrated bullion coins in the world because we're looking at the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III. You got Britannia right there. You got King Charles right here. And it's awesome because he's actually crowned. And then, yes, right here, the verse features the first crowned coinage portrait of His Majesty. So I just want to note that this actually is the first portrait of His Majesty. And this was designed by Martin Jennings. Then you go to the reverse, which, how can you not love this? And then we see the beautiful and the elegant Britannia. These 2023s have a limited mintage of 200,000. And considering how adorned these are, how appreciated and admired these Britannias are, 200,000 for a first edition crowned majesty, King Charles. Why would you not be getting your hands on them? And I've noticed since I originally started purchasing them, they have already gone up. I mean, silver as a whole, but these especially, they have really followed the silver market. And real quick, before I continue, I do want to give a quick shout out to my loyal subscriber, and there's a comment from yesterday, and this is Veritas Files. With the introduction of unaccountable fact-checking, competing articles designed to debunk or obfuscate almost any truth claim coming from those on the political right, the consistent and constant narrative enforcement of left-wing stories and ideas through the mainstream legacy media, and the increasing use of AI, they are eventually going to make it virtually impossible for the average person to come to any true conclusions. They are going to be left with only the ability to be swept away by the dominant and enforced narrative. This is yet another reason that people should be getting their hands on physical nonfiction books that are footnoted with primary source material, books on audio CD or MP3, etc. If you aren't already acquainted with the truth in many basic areas of study, American and world history, philosophy, political science, science, human anthropology, environmental science, etc., who will be lured away or dragged away by the sheer number and force of all of the propaganda that fired at your ears and eyes. We will soon live in a peace through surveillance state. And when we reach that point, your ability to find the truth will be made orders of magnitude more difficult. Wow. Now, I did not read all of Veritas Files because it was quite a lengthy comment, but regardless, very informative comment, and I just wanted to just show you how much wisdom Veritas Files has. And I mean, I always learn every time I read any of his comments. They are so enlightening, and as bleak as they are, as unfortunate as some of the statements may be, it's the reality. Right now, everyone in the world, including the United States, is readjusting to an altered global economy. We're witnessing a significant shift where power and wealth are no longer concentrated in a single pole. Instead, we're seeing the rise of multiple centers of influence. This shift is crucial to understand because ignoring it can lead to disastrous decisions, such as the miscalculations we see in the ongoing war in Ukraine and the implementation of ineffective sanctions. In recent years, the balance of economic power has shifted noticeably. The BRICS nations now account for a larger share of global GDP compared to the G7. This gap is expected to widen further, indicating a change in global economic dynamics. This shift affects everyone's behavior and decision-making processes on the internal stage. After World War II, the US dollar emerged as the dominant global currency, much like the British pound in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Central banks worldwide held significant reserves of gold and dollars, reinforcing the saying, the dollar is as good as gold. The oil-rich nations, particularly Saudi Arabia, sold oil exclusively in dollars, further cementing the dollar's dominance. This arrangement allowed the United States to pay for intentional goods and services with dollars that other countries were happy to hold as reserves, rather than repatriate for American goods. This system provided immense economic benefits to the U.S., enabling it to consume global products in exchange for what are essentially valueless pieces of paper. However, this scenario has drastically changed. Today, central banks hold only about 50% of their reserves in dollars, down from the 80 to 90% norm of just 2 decades ago. Inflation, defined simply as rising prices, is a significant concern, but it's essential to understand that prices are set by employers, not employees. This small group, which makes up about 3% of the population, controls the prices that the remaining 97% must pay. Inflation is thus a profit-driven phenomenon, primarily benefiting those who set prices at the expense of everyone else. In response to inflation, institutions like the Federal Reserve often raise interest rates. While this aims to stabilize prices, it can exacerbate the problem by increasing costs for ordinary people, such as higher credit card interest rates. There are alternative ways to address inflation, as seen in historical examples like President Nixon's wage price freeze in the 1970s. This measure successfully halted inflation without raising interest rates. Today, such options are seldom considered. Understanding these economic dynamics underscores the importance of securing assets that hold intrinsic value like silver. As global economic instability grows and the traditional dominance of the US dollar wanes, silver becomes an increasing attractive investment. It's a tangible asset that can serve as a hedge against inflation and currency devaluation. In these uncertain times, buying silver is a strategic move to protect and grow wealth amidst rapidly changing global economic landscape. And yes, I do not want to forget this bad boy right here. Look at it. 1940 Mercury dime. While the obverse depicts Liberty wearing a winged cap, these are known as the Mercury dimes due to the similarity of the cap seen on the mythological male god Mercury. Fun fact, these were designed by Adolf A. Weinmann. Their image was so popular that when the U.S. Mint struck its first Palladium Eagle coin in 2017, it selected Weinmann's design. So very, very cool. These were originally 10 cents, legal tender in America, at a time when a dime could purchase a Superman comic book, a loaf of bread, or 2 bottles of Coca-Cola. The 1940 Mercury dime was struck in 90% silver at the Denver Mint while war raged in Europe. Hitler's German forces invaded Belgium and the Netherlands, then marched through France into Paris. Soon they would launch bombing raids over London. A peacetime military draft lottery was held in the United States as the prospect of war loomed larger. Very, very historic, timeless, attractive, and one of those pieces that, as a serious silver collector, silver stacker, silver prepper, you have to have bags of Mercury dimes. you have to have bags of Mercury dimes. It's going to be the best thing to barter with later on. And they're always going up in price. They're always going up in premium. So if you're holding on to them long term, you're going to make fat profits if you're looking at it in that sense. But there's so many things you can do with silver aside from making profit. It just protects you. It protects your wealth, and you show the economy respect. You show your financial state respect when you hedge it accordingly. So as always, folks, thank you so much for joining us for another evening of Silver Dad Knows. God bless you. God bless your household. And God bless America.